Hey folks, happy Wednesday! It's Mandy Enright from Nutrition Nuptials, and I am here today still on our 7 days of smoothies. We're on day 3, and I have a really fun smoothie for you today, and we have a secret surprise ingredient happening in it. So all week long we have been making smoothies here on Facebook Live, and they have all been featuring a fun new ingredient I've gotten to play with, and that is our Wildtree Balanced Meals shakes. So the shakes themselves, while they were technically designed to be a meal replacement, as a dietitian, I'm a big believer that we can't live on powder and water and milk alone. So I really have been working all week to create some fun smoothies that are a little bit more filling and satisfying to enjoy if it is going to be a meal for you. And with it, the goal is to really pump them up as far as protein, fiber content, and getting in all our good nutrients from fruits, vegetables, and our additional nutrients from it. The powder, the meal replacement shake itself is free of all of the 8 major allergens, which means it is dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free, and all the other guys above. It also is gluten-free, and it is also vegan-friendly. So if you are somebody who does find that you do need some help finding some extra sources of protein, this is a great option to add into a lot of your options. And in addition to smoothies, I know I've been playing with those all week, but the shake mix is really great to use. You can add it into oatmeal, you can add it into yogurt, you can bake with it, make pancakes with it. So there's a lot of really great ways that you can use the balanced meal shake outside of the smoothie, but I thought smoothies would be fun this week, and we have been having some beautiful sunny weather here in New Jersey, and it's definitely getting me in the mood to want to enjoy more cold smoothies. So today we are making a vanilla honey fig lavender smoothie. It's a lot of words, but don't fear it. It is pretty delicious. I was playing around earlier, and we got this little guy here, so check him out. Say hello. We'll be enjoying a little bit of that later. So to start off with our shake, as I mentioned, we are using a little bit of a surprise teaser ingredient today, and that is something that you might not think about. So a lot of us, when we make smoothies, we like to put in banana, right? Frozen banana. It helps to thicken it, helps to create a nice creaminess to it, especially if you freeze the banana. It helps to take away the need for ice and just really helps to create this great, thick, creamy texture for our smoothie. However, I love bananas, and number one, I tend to put them in most of my smoothies, so sometimes it's nice to change it up. The other thing that we do want to be mindful of with our bananas is that they can be higher in carbohydrate content, which is why I usually will recommend for my clients, and even you've noticed on a lot of these recipes, to use half the banana in the smoothie. That way it gives some room to add some other additional sources of carbohydrates, so we're not just relegated to the banana. So a great swap for bananas in our smoothies is actually a little something that if my husband is watching right now, he might or may not freak out about, but frozen cauliflower. So frozen cauliflower is a really great alternative in place of bananas when we are making our smoothies. So it still has that really nice thickening creaminess properties that we like from our bananas. However, the difference is this is going to be a lower source of carbohydrate. It also is a very neutral flavor, so it's not going to really change the flavor of your smoothie, which is nice depending on where you're looking to go with it. A couple notes if you are planning to use cauliflower in your smoothies. If you want to use fresh cauliflower, that's fine. The only thing is you are going to want to steam it before you go ahead and use it because steaming actually helps to soften up some of the fibers, which when we go to digest it can cause us to have a little gassiness. So if you steam it beforehand, it does help to reduce that potential risk from adding the cauliflower in. So the recommendation really is to steam it and then freeze it. So at least freeze it for overnight in order to enjoy it. You can also just buy already frozen cauliflower florets. You want to get the little guys, and you can just grab them right out of the bag and put them in your smoothie. I decided to buy the Colettes, as they are called. These are from Man's, and I like these because they're just little tiny cauli crumbles, and if I don't want to use them in the smoothie, I can always use them for other side dishes, fried rice, and really, really quick to keep around. So I did steam this last night, and I just took the whole bag, threw it right in the microwave, did it for about 2 to 3 minutes to get the cauli guys a little bit softened up. and then let them cool down, and then into the freezer they went, so that now that they're nice and frozen, have this nice consistency ready to go. So I'm going to take my colettes, and I am going to place about half of a cup of them in my blender bottle, I should say. And again, these guys are nice. They're ready to go. They're cleaned, and you can just take them and use them as you would like. So throw them on in. If you've never added any kind of vegetable to your smoothie, it's a great way to add extra fiber without any calories. So a lot of people like to do things like adding spinach in, which is a nice alternative as well. So we have our cauli in here. Next thing is, you can't have a fig smoothie without some figs. So I chopped up and quartered about the equivalent of 4 figs. It's about 1/4 of a cup worth, and we'll put them in. I like to quarter them just because, especially the dried figs, they can be just a little bit tougher. So if you help to quarter them up, it just makes it easier on your blender. Here in New Jersey, we get a fig season for maybe about 2 weeks to get those really nice fresh figs. So if I have the opportunity to make this in the summer, I am totally going to do so. And if you're lucky enough to live somewhere where you have fresh figs all year round, by all means use the fresh figs. The swap would be, in place of the dried figs, I used about 1/4 of a cup. If you're going to use fresh figs, I would double that and do about 1/2 cup of the fresh figs. I would still probably quarter them up as well. And the reason for that is, with the fresh figs, they're going to be a little bit more of a watery content to them. So they're not quite as concentrated and potent as the dried guys. So you have a little bit more room to work with here. So I'm super jealous if you're lucky to get figs more than a couple weeks out of the year. So make sure you take advantage of that. Along with our cauliflower and our fig, I'm going to add in a little bit of honey. So I'm going to do about a teaspoon worth of honey. And it's just to give it just a little bit of sweetness. So just about like a dime size, I'm going to add in for my cauliflower. I'm going to add in our vanilla meal replacement shake. So the vanilla, again, as I've mentioned, it is vegan friendly. So if you wanted to make this to be a vegan shake, and swap for that, if you are someone who doesn't have honey, you can always swap it for maple syrup instead. So we're going to throw in 2 scoops of our Wildtree shake mix and get that guy in there. And that's going to help to add in some additional protein, some additional fiber, and also we do have pre and probiotics in our shake blend as well. So while it is marketed as a meal replacement, again, it does have a lot of properties that help to add to the meal. But again, I always recommend that we want to add some stuff to it to really make it really nice and filling. Another ingredient that I'm adding in, raw cashews. So these are cashews that were soaked overnight. It just helps to soften them up a little bit. So a lot of times, again, in our smoothies, we might like to put things like peanut butter in or nut butter in to help add to some thickness. I soak the cashews because when I put them in and they go to blend, they create a really nice creaminess to our smoothie, and also helps to add some extra protein to it. So it's a win all around on that. Once I add those in, I'm then going to just top off my smoothie with milk. And this is probably going to wind up coming to about a cup of milk. I'm just using good old-fashioned cow's milk today. It's just a nice neutral flavor, and it does add just a little teeny bit of sweetness to it without overpowering it. So we'll put our topper on, make sure this is on nice and tight, which it's not. There we go. Make sure my blender's plugged in. There we go. And let's get this guy on. We do have one more ingredient to add, but I want to get this guy blended up just a little bit before we go to add in our next ingredient. And then the one other ingredient I'm going to add, I'm going to give this one more little shot on here. ingredient that I'm going to add here, because you can't have a vanilla fig honey lavender smoothie without lavender, and that is I'm going to be adding in a little bit of some lavender essential oil. Now, if you've never used essential oils to cook with, you do have to be very careful. These guys are very potent. The other thing you want to be mindful of, if you are going to use essential oils for any kind of cooking, you need to make sure that the oil is safe for ingestion, which means if you're buying essential oils at your local Walmart or Target and it's just really marketed as something to make your room smell nice, you want to be very careful. It's probably not going to be safe for consumption, so don't. So you want to look for something that has a certified therapeutic grade. So I use doTERRA oils, which are certified and perfectly safe for ingestion. The one caution with these, again, is that you want to be careful because they can be very overpowering. So a very good dietitian friend of mine gave me a little trick if I'm going to be using essential oils, and that is, rather than adding in a drop, which at times can really make it, can even be too overpowering, she gave me a great tip. You want to take a toothpick, and we're just going to kind of place it into the bottle here, and my bottle's a little bit low, so I'm just going to kind of take it and gently roll it around here just to help get my toothpick just a little bit soaked. And I'm just going to take my toothpick and I'm just going to gently give a little stir in my smoothie. And then I'm just going to pop it back on the blender one more time to give it one more little blast of love in the blender. Oops. And now that we gave our smoothie, it's a little bit of lavender, it's ready to go. Some options you can do if you want to tap it off with a little bit of some crushed pistachio, just give it a little color and just kind of makes it look a little pretty. You're welcome to do so. If you don't have lavender essential oil, you can also always substitute with dried lavender. I would say maybe do a very small amount, maybe quarter of a teaspoon or so, just to give it that flavoring to it. So I hope you guys enjoy this vanilla fig honey lavender smoothie today, and make sure to tune in tomorrow for our smoothie of the day tomorrow as we work forward with our 7 days of smoothies. Enjoy, everyone. Cheers.